Hello, friends. How you doing? Good to see you as always. It's Bill, and you are watching Bill's Box of Sound. Let me make myself full screen here. Stop this noisy music. Just in case anybody's curious, the music that you were hearing is from a CD called Cheese Sandwich. And it says it's by Divarata, which is another name for me, Bill Camerata. And let's see, it says here, this is an instrumental album of sounds and noises recorded between 1975 and 1989, then assembled and edited in 2002. It is approximately 75 minutes long. So there. It's also got an address for a now defunct post office box. So there. But that's what it is. So actually, good evening there, Mr. Wasteoid Radio. No, it is not a nod to Ensenada. Divarata was a name that was made up by a guy I worked with when I worked at a television station. And he would do plays on words with my name. And he had just gotten a new toy to work with. He was a technical director, kind of like the switcher on the local TV news. And he got this thing called the Digital Video Effects Unit, which enabled all sorts of digital effects. And it said DVE on it, and he called it the Div. And then one day he just started calling me Divarata instead of Camerata. So the name kind of stuck. I used it as a pseudonym when I worked on The Ghoul Show in Cleveland from 1998 to 2002. So, any of you who are interested in this CD, it is available. Not widely available, though. Mikey Bananas on Grown Man Record Night plays this sometimes as background music for Grown Man Record Night. And he was playing it one night. He says, "Bill, were you on drugs?" It's like, no, I was in high school. And experimenting with sound. Yes, I love sound. Anyway, I should be putting this on sale on Bandcamp soon because I still got a couple hundred copies of it. I've sent lots of copies of this away to people who ordered the Spudlock record, which I should have several copies of it right here. Where are they? Spudlock, where are you? There we go. People who have bought the Spudlock album, lots of people have received them just simply by accident or me just throwing them into the box. If you've got a copy of this album and you don't have a copy of this, let me know. I'll make a deal with you, or I just might send it to you. Hey, but this may be available soon on Bandcamp on the Spudlock page, so that's fun. Good evening, Aaron, the Metal Theologian. Good to see you, sir. Really enjoyed your video. His most recent video, well, might not be his most recent video now, but he was wearing a t-shirt that is familiar to me because I am a lifelong Cleveland area resident. And if you want to find out what it is, you go and watch his video, and you'll enjoy it. Anyway, you know what? It's not a real show yet because we have not done this. Yes. Grab the old can of Diet Coke and, yeah, share it with your bro, dude. Ridiculous. You know, they got these bottles out now with random names on it. And don't think I've ever seen one that said Bill or Judy on it, but you never know. They pick the most uncommon names ever for those things. So, all right. Oh yeah, just get that noise. The lovely. There we go. Beautiful. All right. Okay, good. Yeah, Metal Theologian says that the most recent video, as we speak, if you're watching this live, as we do every Saturday night, about 10 p.m. Eastern Time and 7 p.m. Pacific Time. You adjust for your time zone wherever you are. Anyway, so the title of the show today says, For Lack of Prep, Anything Goes. That's because I was planning to shoot and edit the review, my review anyway, of this brand new album, Frank Zappa's Cheaper Than Cheap. Yes, the 3-record set, and also the 2 CD and 1 Blu-ray disc of the movie. And I still plan on doing that. I was planning on shooting it and editing it yesterday and then posting it today, and all hell broke loose. Yesterday, I spent a lot of the day inside of a car dealership because I was getting my yearly maintenance done to my car, and it ended up costing me way too much money. Plus, I got to buy new tires, which I'm going to get on Monday morning. That's going to be another few $100, which I'd much rather spend on records, but oh well, or whatever. Then today, had mowed the lawn, had to do grocery shopping, had to cook dinner, had to clean dinner, had to help out with things around the house. Among other things, and all the stuff that I do with this channel, I am a caregiver, so that takes up a lot of my time. So, as a result, I'm exhausted, and I haven't had the time to plan a real show. But I was thinking, you know what? Should I cancel the live stream tonight? No, because I enjoy doing this, and I really appreciate all of you folks that tune in and check out the weekly live stream, because it's a lot of fun, and a lot of times you folks add stuff to the show that is very beneficial to the program. We have a lot of fun here. What can I say? So, instead of screw the show up and leave you folks without something really wasteful to watch on your Saturday evening, I said, I'm just going to do this because I can talk about records and music anytime. Yeah. So let's take a look here. Let's see. See, we got all the Cokes be me, just say Engelbert on them. Must have been a shipping error. I saw a bottle with Paul on it, said Paul, so they're not all obscure. Okay, that's good. Yeah, but about 5 years ago, a friend of mine who's a big Grateful Dead fan, a friend gave them a Coke bottle that had the name Jerry on it. So that was pretty cool. Anyway, but yeah, I have pretty much written and scripted my entire Cheaper Than Cheap review. It's positive, but there's lots of things that go along with that, ins and outs, variants, and etc. But yeah, very much looking forward to doing that properly and putting out for you. So if you've been waiting for me to publish that review and you haven't seen it yet, it's because it hasn't been done yet. I'm going to try and shoot it tomorrow. So I appreciate your patience. So what other kind of news is going on this week? Yeah, expletive deleted. I just can't believe you are such a crook. All right, good to see you. All right, so I just got an email earlier today that Mobile Fidelity is saying that as of June 1st, because of changing things within the political hemispheres of this planet, mostly the tariffs. It's terrifically bad. Because of those things, prices are going up at Mobile Fidelity, especially on the Mobile Fidelity sleeves, the inner sleeves that when you buy an album, a lot of times they come in paper sleeves, but we like the plastic sleeves. Yeah, the polypropylene sleeves that to protect your record and are anti-static free. Some of them are made in Japan, some of them are made in Germany, a lot of them are made in China. So they say that their prices are going up as of June 1st. And I also saw a email about a week and a half from Clear Bags, a company that I buy a lot of inner sleeves from and outer sleeves as well. So it's shameful, but it's going to start happening. Oh, good evening to Kevin Hart. Hello there. Ah, very nice of you, sir. My good friend Kevin, he says, thanks for the live stream, a highlight of the week. Well, see, it's a highlight of the week for me as well, seeing all of you fine folks stopping by and just saying whatever comes to mind in the chat room. It's cool. So, hopefully, prices of records are not going to go up as well. But you never know. There's a lot of records that are made in this country. I know that a lot of records from Universal are made or manufactured in Germany. Take a look at Cheaper Than Cheap, for example. And I don't know if there's going to be significant tariffs being put on those or not. So we'll see what happens with that. Anyway, speaking of new releases, there was an announcement from Acoustic Sounds that at long last, well, it's been a couple years coming. The last of the Steely Dan releases that have been put out on Ultra High Quality Records is finally coming out early June, and that's The Royal Scam. And as I've said many times before, this is going to make Robert Fithen, he has an interesting YouTube channel. I haven't been watching a lot of his videos lately because he does this thing where he takes a year and he like takes all the records that he knows of that are released in that year and he reviews them from worst to best. But he goes on, and basically it's him shitting on a whole bunch of records. Um, the ones that I've taken the time to watch, I really haven't enjoyed as much as some of his other videos. But what was the point that I was trying to make? Oh yeah, the Royal Scam. He made a. He's a big Steely Dan hater. He cannot stand Steely Dan. Okay, I'll give him that. There's a lot of people that don't like Steely Dan. I personally love him. I'll listen to him all day long when I'm not listening to Zappa or Primus or XTC or The Residents or Miles Davis or John Coltrane or Art Blakey or Brand X or Genesis or Yes or the Rolling Stones or Sonic Youth or anything else. But I do enjoy me some Steely Dan. Yes, indeed. So, just to recap, because I made the crazy decision to buy them all. I mean, it was when they announced that they were going to do this. It's like for years, Steely Dan records were out of print. You could only buy CDs of them, and they were so transfers of them. And even their last two albums, Everything Must Go and Two Against Nature, were not available on vinyl, and they came out for Record Store Day, and then Analog Productions did double 45 versions of them, which sounded absolutely amazing. And then Chad Kassem made the announcement that they're doing the whole Steely Dan catalog. I freaked out and pre-ordered every single one of them. Yes, I am crazy. So, let's take a look at them here. We push this out of the way. Started out with Can't Buy a Thrill. First album. And then the second album, Countdown to Ecstasy, which is, it may still be my favorite Steely Dan album ever. This is just so wonderful. Then came Pretzel Logic. Probably my least favorite Steely Dan album ever, but still, it's wonderful. It's fantastic. But I've got a lot of things to say about this. So then after that, they jumped ahead and put out Asia. Probably their best sounding record. And this was absolutely amazing. And then they put out Gaucho. Oh boy. Come on, Les. Sorry about that, Les. Sorry about that, Les. I got my box set of Les Claypool here. Anyway, and then the last one, the most recent one that came out was Katie Lied, which probably the last one to, or next to the last one to come out, because of all of the crazy problems that they had in making this record. They wanted to make this a very high quality album, and they ran into nothing but trouble recording this and mastering it. And well, I put out a video all about the versions of this album, including the UHQR. So I've got all these, and once I do get a copy of Royal Scam and I get to evaluate that, I'm probably going to do a recap video of all the Steely Dan albums. And hey, if you don't like it, if you don't like Steely Dan, don't watch them. All right, I got to catch up with the with the chat room here. You guys are filling up stuff. Wonderful. Okay. Let's see. First of all, Wasteoid Radio says if there's time for some Residents talks, I'm trying to listen through their entire discography or their whole discography, and I am currently at Demon's Dance Alone. At what point do you drop off as a hardcore fan? Oh, that's a great question. And I can answer that very easily. The album that kind of was the last one that I felt was really inventive and um, still kept the character of the Residents for all those years was. I know I got it here. Hold on a second. I know that I own a copy of this. I just got so many. Oh, there it is. Ah, nope, that's not it. Now, why don't I see it here? Oh, here it is. There we go. God in Three Persons. I think that this was the last album that really had some supreme inventiveness to it. And a lot of people tell me that Demon's Dance Alone is really great, but a lot of the stuff after that sounds to be a bit too antiseptic, and I don't know. I mean, they've gone too much into stories or just trying to make something weird for the sake of being weird and trying to make scary stories. I watched a movie that they made called Triple Trouble, which was basically a extended fleshing out of the Vileness Fats saga, and I thought it was just a lot of recycled stuff, and I was really disappointed in it. But yeah, and Paul Lopez, he dropped off after God in Three Persons as well. So that's my opinion. Kevin wants to know if I have an opinion on gatefold sleeves. Not really. I like them. I mean, I'm not, not trying to say, ooh, if it's got a gatefold sleeve, I'll go towards it. It has to do with the artist's intention, because you got classic albums, and then this is a single album, but there is a gatefold to it, and a lot of times artists are very inventive, and they put the lyrics on there. They'll put extra graphics on there. They'll put some cool stuff on there. And then, depending on the band's budget or the label's budget or stuff like that, they might instead do a custom inner sleeve. There's all sorts of options. But I'm kind of neutral on gatefold sleeves. I will say one thing, though. If you've got a 2-record set, I think it's smarter to make it a gatefold sleeve than to put 2 records inside of one sleeve. For example, this album that I talked about this last week, but just got this in, Live at Slugs, Volume 1 and 2 by Charles Tolliver, with Music Inc., Stanley Cowell, Cecil McBee, Jimmy Hops. Oh man, is this great, and it's high quality audio from the Strata East label. But yeah, this did come in, and originally this was only either a volume 1 or a volume 2. Now it's a 2-record set, and it's got cool liner notes, and it's even got an insert inside of it. Where is that? With even more information about the album and the event. Nice picture. Live at Slugs Volume 1 and 2. Very happy with this with this release, and I hope to buy other albums on the Strata East label. I did miss out on the Pharoah Sanders release from Record Store Day, which I did listen to online, and it's fantastic. Go to Bandcamp and look up Strata East. You'll be able to listen to a lot of their releases. Very cool stuff. Try their stuff out before you buy it. And let's see here. What else here? Let's see. Paul says, Steely Dan is a band that I grew up on. Reminds me so much of being a kid. Yep. It was high school for me. Getting into Steely Dan reminds me of high school a lot. And let's see. I grew up with my family in Santa Maria, California. And at the time, the CBS pressing plant and studios were there as well. My dad was a police officer at the time, the early mid-70s. Cool. And he would say, my dad would bring home all the various artists who represented that plant, and I still have them to this day. Stillment, including Steely Dan. Awesome. That's very nice. Very nice. And I Am One of Us says, hi, Bill. Nice to see you. I love your Saturday night show. You always show my favorite music. Steely Dan, a perfect example. Yay. Golf clap for that. And let's see. And Mr. Fradley, Johnny, yeah, I remember you from B&B Appliance. You were the man who installed car stereos. Man, that's a lost art, isn't it? And you had that shit down. Yeah, I remember you, John. Good to see you, man. I see Memphis Lonnie in the room. Good to see you, sir. He says that he got a Blu-ray player to connect to his laptop so I can watch Cheaper Than Cheap. And it won't play. Oh, yeah, you were telling me about that last week. He messaged me about that. And you know what? I've been considering buying a Blu-ray drive for my computer. But here is the skinny on that. Blu-ray discs are not officially accepted by either Apple or by Microsoft. Yeah, this is a DVD drive that I use, pardon me, for my laptop. Apple still sells these for like $79. And I use these to burn CDs. And if I have an album that's on CD, I use this to rip it to my hard drive so that I can listen to my CDs on my phone and in my car, etc. But I was doing some research on Blu-ray drives for computers, and for consumers, it's not necessarily a user-friendly thing, because if you buy a Blu-ray player, it doesn't have the software to play a consumer Blu-ray movie on a computer. You've got to buy a special program to do that. Now, I may venture into this and get myself a Blu-ray player to see how hard this is. And if I find out that it's something that's fairly easy to do, well, I'll report back on it. But yeah, sorry to hear about that, Lonnie. But I basically say buy a Blu-ray player to plug into your television, because they are pretty inexpensive. I mean, you can get them for less than $100, sometimes less than $50. A lot of Blu-ray players, especially Sony's, play Super Audio discs as well, Super Audio CDs, as well as Blu-ray audios. Now, there is something weird going on. I've got a few of the Rhino Quadio Blu-ray audios, and they will play the stereo version but they won't play the quadraphonic version properly on my home theater system. I have a feeling it might have something to do with the receiver that I have, because I used to have a receiver that decoded all that stuff perfectly, and now I bought a new one because the old one crapped out on me, and this one just does not seem to be working properly. So, I don't know. But oh, you're talking about, okay. Kevin was asking me about gatefold sleeves, and he was actually asking me about the outer sleeves for gatefold sleeves. Oh, that's okay. I have not purchased any of those. I should try those out because I hear that people really go nuts for them. But for me, it's more important to just be able to get the record and to protect the sleeve. So, for example, let me grab a Tone Poet, which is one of these Blue Note albums that has a jacket that's a little bit larger than usual. And the Tone Poets are also descended from the Music Matters 33 RPM series, where they've got a gatefold with pictures of the original sessions. And very, very nice packaging. And there's your Blue Note right there. So personally, I have these thick 3 mil clear jackets which protect these very nicely and allow me to stick them in the shelf very easily. So that's my opinion of those things. I think I talked about that in a recent video I made about inner and outer sleeves. So that's kind of how I feel. Anyway, so yeah, very once again, John Fradley, very very happy to see you. Thanks for stopping in and all that stuff. So let's see. He says, I do have a Blu-ray player for my smart TV, all of which are in storage in my... Oh, okay. I see. All right. Well, I can't do much for you on that one, Lonnie. Oh. It was 48 hours until Lonnie came around, as they say in the Boston Rag by Steely Dan. So, some other things that are going on. Let's see. So, I was talking about the UHQRs, Ultra High Quality Records from Acoustic Sounds and Analog Productions. This past week on the podcast Caropop, he interviewed Chad Kassem of Acoustic Sounds, and some really cool stuff. He talked a lot about the Atlantic 75 series, of which I have 2 titles. I've got the Yes album, and I've also got Genesis' Selling England by the Pound. And man, they have made the best sounding versions of those albums that I have ever heard. Blows CDs away. And albums that I've listened to for 50 years, it's like listening to them all over again. Clarity and realism that I've never heard before. And he was talking about that series. And what basically is going on with that is that Atlantic Records approached Acoustic Sounds and said, we want to take 75 of our most famous, most epic titles of the 75 years that we've been in business, and we want to put out 2 record 45 RPM editions of them with the most perfect sound that can possibly be. And nobody else can do that better than Analog Sounds. And Chad said that some of the titles that they wanted to do for this were like Bruno Mars and Ed Sheeran, who are on the Atlantic label. And when they got the master tapes for these, which might have been digital, the signals were compressed like crazy because of the way that modern music is recorded and processed. So they went back to the artist and said, hey, can we get the original mix of this, which is not so compressed? And they said, there is no other master. This is how we wanted it. So they turned down titles like that because basically they may be able to improve the sound on it a little bit, but basically they would be reproducing a $60 CD on vinyl, and that would waste time and money for a lot of people. That was very interesting. So, uh, if you get a chance, listen to that podcast. I don't like, I like the Caro Pop podcast, Caropop, by Mark Caro. I like his podcast and he gets great guests, but I can't stand his introductions because he, in his introduction, he'll tell you who he's interviewing and some background information, but then he starts going into every single question he's going to ask the guy during that hour. When he starts doing that, I just grab my phone and I skip until the actual interview starts because that's what I want to listen to. That's what I enjoy the most. So that's what's going on with that. Let's see, other news stuff. Oh, by the way, frequent listeners to my channel and also to the Zappacast will notice that I usually talk a bit about another YouTube channel called Abigail DeVoe, which is the YouTube channel of Abigail DeVoe. She is a music journalist, or at least she just, she comes on to her videos for Vinyl Monday, and she says, "Hi, I'm Abby. I have a lot of records," and she goes on and introduces the video. She takes a classic album every week, even though this month she's also doing the Mod May month, where she does stuff that's more recent and does in-depth reviews of those. Anyway, we had her as a guest on the Zappacast. It was a fantastic episode, and Abby's a great person to talk to. I consider her a friend. Sent her a Spudlock album. She was kind of freaked out by it, I think. So anyway, just in the past week or two, she has started writing for Tracking Angle, which is Michael Fremer's website. And her first entry was a review of the Pink Floyd at Pompeii, the vinyl version of this album, the soundtrack for the movie that came out. And of course, this is the Blu-ray that I have here. Ta-da! And I've also got the 2 CD soundtrack. For some reason, I avoided buying the record, but for those of you who are Steven Wilson fans, you probably know this already. He remixed all the audio for the movie, and this is wonderful. For those of you who love earlier Pink Floyd, we're talking about before Dark Side of the Moon. So, congratulations to Abby. Look forward to seeing more of her writings. I told her she needs to put out a book. So one day I would love to have an entire book written by Abigail DeVoe. Good writing, just fantastic content. If you are interested in classic music, you can check out her channel. Anyway, also, I was talking about Cheaper Than Cheap, the latest Frank Zappa release. Amit Zappa has a weekly radio show called Rock Tales. And it's kind of like a video show. I don't know where it plays live, but he posts the shows on YouTube every week, and I think not his most recent one, which just came out. I think one from the previous week. He put out an episode on YouTube talking about Cheaper Than Cheap and his involvement in that project, of which there was a lot. Now, Zappa fans are deeply polarized about the feud between Dweezil and Amit Zappa, which there really isn't a feud anymore, but people are kind of like making like there is. And so now Lonnie says that Amit goes live on YouTube every Friday. So he says it's live at 5. So is it a live stream at 2 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific time? I don't know. I'll have to take a look and see about that. But yeah, just look up Amit Zama Lama Ding Dong. Amit Zappa's Rock Tales. Yeah, and check that out. But definitely check out the Cheaper Than Cheap episode. He talks a lot about his involvement in that. It's more than you'd think, because people are just so eager to jump on him and put him down and say bad things about him. Amit's not a bad guy, okay? If it wasn't for Amit Zappa, we wouldn't be seeing a lot of the releases that we are seeing from Frank Zappa. And I know that there's going to be more good stuff coming out later on this year. DJ Tresh, hello. Good to see you, my friend. Great to see you as always. What other things have been going on? Oh, yeah. Did you hear about Josh Freese? This is kind of a trivial thing, but Josh Freese is currently, well, no, I'm sorry, not anymore. He replaced Taylor Hawkins as the drummer of Foo Fighters after Taylor passed away tragically. And he just posted on Facebook, let's see, how long ago was this? Wait a second here. Oh, here we go. He posted this like a 1 or 2 days ago, and I quote, he said, "The Foo Fighters called me Monday night to let me know they've decided to go in a different direction with their drummer. No reason was given." And then he puts a little sad face emoticon. "Regardless, I enjoyed the past 2 years with them, both on and off stage, and I support whatever they feel is best for their band. In my 40 years of drumming professionally," and let me go off of this here, because he's been a drummer for Devo. He's drummed for Dweezil Zappa. He's also drummed for Nine Inch Nails. He does all sorts of studio work. Back to Josh's little thing on Facebook. He says, "In my 40 years of drumming professionally, I've never been let go from a band. So while I'm not angry, just a bit shocked and disappointed, as most of you know, I've always worked freelance and bounced between bands, so I'm fine. But stay tuned for my top 10 possible reasons Josh got booted from the Foo Fighters list." And he thanked his fans. And yeah, very interesting information, eh? And a lot of people are using this opportunity to make jokes about the Foo Fighters. They're saying, well, gee, maybe Dave Grohl was cheating on you with another drummer. Or maybe Josh Freese was getting looks from Dave Grohl's side hustle. I don't know. But let's see now. One of us says that Amit is on every morning at 9 a.m. on his YouTube channel. Really? So it's 9, 10. So that'll be 1 p.m. Yeah, I will take a look, find out more about Amit and his online exploits because he talks about all sorts of music and all sorts of things that he's doing with his business and stuff. But yeah, and Dweezil, he's doing a lot of cool stuff. He's doing a Atmos Dolby Atmos mixing clinic at I believe it's Bluebird Studios in Nashville, and he's wrapping up his Rock's Apostrophe tour, and he's going to do some other things which will be revealed. So that's kind of cool. Let's see what other new things we got going on here. That's about it. Let's see. What other new stuff is happening in your world, folks? Hmm. I, see some other stuff that I enjoyed seeing on YouTube this week. What was it? Let's see here. Let me check my history on YouTube because there are a few cool things that I've seen. Go check my history. Let's see. Already told you about Metal Theologian's most recent video, which he has a very interesting T-shirt on. Oh yeah, um, Vinyl Community or VC Fridays with Michael P. Dawson, friend of this channel. We've had him on the Saturday Night live stream, and he is a musician as well who puts out some very interesting music. He did his own review of Cheaper Than Cheap, and also talked about a record that I sent him. So that's really cool. Check out Michael P. Dawson. He's got a cool video, his most recent one. Oh, what else is going on here? Was weird was a few nights ago, I was getting ready to go to bed, but I'm sitting here watching stuff on the computer, and a suggestion came up for me to watch Frank Zappa Posthumous CDs Part 1, and it was one of my videos. So for some reason I thought, oh, what the hell, I'll check it out, see how well I did. So I watched it, and it's like, hey, I did a good job there, didn't I? And right after that, it said, hey, you want to watch part 2? Oh, yeah, I'll watch that. And then before you know it, I've watched 3 of my own videos from several years ago. And I just said, listen, this is late. I gotta go to bed. I got stuff to do in the morning. So, you know, it was weird. Why was I watching my own videos? I made them. But anyway, so good to see you, North Carolina Vinyl Picker. And DJ Trish has made new playlists for the summer. Very cool. Well, also, oh, here we go. Michael P is in the in the chat room, and he says, "I dropped into Amoeba Records today. Turned out they are having an in-store performance by Tune Yards. I am not familiar with them. Let's see. So I'm going to be checking that out after the show. Tune Yards, eh? Interesting. I definitely want to find out what that is. What else can we do in the last 10 minutes? You ready for a blind stab, a random pick? And it's not a whack-a-mole. That's something Mazzy does. All right. I'm going to reach way down below into the letter S here and just grab something at random. Let's see. Let me pull this out here. What is this? Oh, here we go. Stephen Stills. His first solo album. Let's see. Oh, they are a duo on the 4AD label. That's very cool, Michael. I will definitely check that out. Anyway, so let's check out this album here, the first Stephen Stills solo album. And I've got an original Atlantic inner sleeve. Let's see here. And I got the record. One reason that I own this album, aside from the fact that there's some good tunes on it, is that Jimi Hendrix plays guitar on one track on this album. Let's see, where is it? But I mean, this is a star-studded event. First Stephen Stills album. Let's see, we got Fuzzy Samuels, John Sebastian, David Crosby, Graham Nash, Andy Johns. We've got, here we go, Old Times, Good Times, lead guitar, Jimi Hendrix. Who else we got? Rita Coolidge is on here. Cass Elliot, Dallas Taylor, John Barbata. And I like that on the song Black Queen, it says, was recorded live and the performance is courtesy of Jose Cuervo Gold Label Tequila. Booker T. Jones plays organ on a track. So, yeah, if you enjoy Stephen Stills, who is a fantastic instrumentalist as well as songwriter and singer, this is his first solo album. Not bad. This came out in 1970, 55 years ago. Woohoo! All right, so let's put this back, shall we? Got the record, got the sleeve, and I bought this quite a long time ago. This is one of those cheapo inner outer sleeves that that makes it look like something you buy in a used record store. And it's not one of these new ones that are extremely clear. So you know what? I'm going to re-sleeve this. I'm going to grab I believe this is one from Sleeve City. I'm going to grab it. All right. Now, let's compare these two outer sleeves, shall we? Here's the one that I was housing the Stephen Stills record in, and here's the new one. Can you see me? I'm all cloudy. Here, I'm clear. I look brand new. And Joni Mitchell's autograph picture. All right, so let's get this and put this in here. And makes this look brand new. Then I can put in the sleeve. Actually, I should have put that inside of the jacket itself, but oh well. And here's one of those rice paper style sleeves that Mobile Fidelity is upping the price on in the near future. So that is that. That is a random stab from my record collection. One more, then we're going to get moving and head on out of here because we got local news coming up at the top of the hour. Let's see. I'm going to reach over into the late letter M's and grab something over here. Oh! Don't want to damage my Mr. Bungle box. Let's see. Let's grab something here. I don't know what this is. Oh, this feels like an older one as well. Pull it out and see what this is. Oh, Nash the Slash on Ralph Records. This album's called The Million Year Picnic. Yeah, this is put out by the old Residence Ralph Records. Very experimental music from Nash the Slash. Yeah, cool stuff. And he does a lot of electronic stuff, and he does a cover of the song "Dead Man's Curve," the old Jan and Dean thing. One neat thing about Nash the Slash. Let me go back to where that was. Where is it? Here it is. Here it is. I love this record. I think this is the one. Yep, here we go. Okay, from Cutthroat Records in Canada, and this came out in 1981. This album is called Decomposing. All right, there are 4 tracks on this. Side 1 has The Calling, Life in Loch Ness, and side 2 has Womble and Pilgrim's Lament. And the cool thing about this record is that you can play it at any speed. 33, 45, or 78. And if you've got an old turntable that plays those transcription records, you can play it at 16 as well. But the label even says on it, it's got the timings of the songs when they're played at 33, 45, and 78. Let me see if I can get this close enough to the camera to show you that. You see that? This is really bizarre. So yeah, he made this album specifically so that you would be able to play this at any speed and enjoy his compositions in the mood of your choice. So yeah, I just might spin this sucker this evening. I'd play it right now if I would be able to get through the copyright. One of these nights, after we're done with the Saturday Night live stream, we may be going on Twitch later on just to play some records, and for that there's no recorded replay. You gotta watch it live. So maybe next week I'll do that, because right after I get done with the stream tonight, I've got some responsibilities I have to take care of. But yeah, that's cool. Ooh, Metal Theologian says, I have a Conrad Schnitzer that you can play at 33 or 45, but that's extreme. Yeah, that's cool. I've heard of Conrad Schnitzer. Very neat. All right, folks. Well, listen, I'm going to turn on some more of that weird music, and we're going to get stuff taken care of here. I will see you next week. If all goes according to plan, I'm going to shoot and edit my review of the new Frank Zappa release and movie, Cheaper Than Cheap, and get it out to you as soon as possible. Next Sunday, I'm going to be selling records at a record swap in Cleveland, actually in the west side of Cleveland, Lakewood, at a place called the Winchester Music Tavern. I think it's like from 10 a.m. till like 5 in the afternoon, or until the interest wanes. But I'm going to have lots of my doubles. I'm going to be slashing prices on those. And also just a lot of horrible records. Maybe some records from the Ghouls record collection. You never know. But yeah, that'd be cool. And yes, already I see a couple of you saying that, yes, please do a Twitch stream. I would love to do it. So, can't guarantee that, but I will announce it before I actually do it, because that would be a lot of fun. I also got to figure out what to put on the screen while I'm doing it. I know that Tokyo Record Style has started doing some streams on Twitch, but whenever he's doing it, I just don't have the time to tune in, but I know he's got some very interesting stuff to play. All right, folks, that's it. Get yourself some music and listen to it. Music is the best. I had a great time. Hope you did too. Thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned for your local news, except on the West Coast. Be nice to people. Because there's people that aren't nice to others. You're better than that. Night, night.